Right folks, how's it going? It's Des Cattys. Come out for a while. Here, tell you what, I'm getting the hang of this hammock hanging. And you know what, it took me about a minute, just over a minute I reckon, to set this up. I'm getting a bit of a dab hand. Still ain't sleeping in one though. But yeah, anyway, so stay tuned for hopefully an enjoyable video. Right, so Barney messaged me the other day via the mobile phone and sent me a link to a YouTube channel called Hiker Averagejoe. I'll put a link in the description, but he had a great video on how to make a sort of a windshield for your stove out of beer cans or out of soda cans or whatever you want to make, pop cans, whatever. But I actually made one out of a couple of Guinness cans. I'll show it to you, you know what I mean? And as I say, I'll stick the link. I'm not going to show you how to make it, because if you see me, I was covered in plasters and everything, you know what I mean? I had no adult supervision, you know what I mean? But this guy will obviously explain it to you. So thanks to Barney, and thanks to the guy that Average Joe Hiker for the project. And there's probably a million other videos out there. I haven't looked. But I made two. This was the prototype that I made out of a couple of Pepsi Mac tins. Not that great really. The drill bit that I used was a bit crap, and all the rest of it. But I'll show you the better one that I've made, which I've got wrapped around me seat. And it's this one. So as I say, this guy will explain it to you a hell of a lot better than me. You'd need a health and safety executive on you if I showed you. Alright, and basically it's this. I kind of advanced on it a tiny bit by putting some aluminium tape on the inside, but it works pretty cool. What I did do wrong was I did it upside down. And am I going to make another one? I don't think so, because I don't want to keep cutting my fingers. And I'm going to use it today just to show you. It's got obviously a series of holes in it, and how cool is that? So you can use your own, you know, if you're a bit of a, you know, if you like a drop of alcohol. You know, I'm not promoting alcohol drinking, but if you want to make, or even out of soda cans or whatever, you know, that's not a bad little little project maybe for, you know, sort of for the coming winter months. And it's obviously lightweight. Yeah, quite impressed with that actually. So let's get a brew on, eh? Try it out. Appears to be working. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like that. And my little setup that I've got, you know, my little one that you normally see me use. But great excuse, isn't it? You know, for you know, to legitimately have a beer now, because you can say that you at least need a couple of cans, at least two, you know, to make a little windshield, and you can get away with it if you say like you want one for a Dutch oven. Maybe 6 or 10 pints, who knows. Right, so it worked pretty sweet. So, not a bad little sort of a shed project, winter project maybe. You know, if you've made one already, then please share it. But thanks to Average Hiker Joe and to Barney. Nice one. I mean, I could take it out on a spare, you know, just wrap it around my fuel bottle then just keep it as a spare. Good night. Ain't going to take up any space, is it? Oh yeah, neat little project that, eh? Birch bark's made of asbestos. sound, folks. I had to add some more birch bark to that. My God, that took for ages. It was punishing for you, the viewer. It was certainly punishing for me. We get there though, perseverance. Stuff is damp, mind. Right, so while that fire really starts to take off now, for my breakfast brunch, if you like, I've got some potato rosti cakes. Mrs C picked them up for me yesterday, bless her. And this is red onion and herb. But basically what you got to do is empty the sachet contents into a pot of some kind, mix it all up with some boiling water, make them leave them for 5 minutes, make them into patties, and then cook them in oil. So that's going to be our brunch. So let's have a go. I mean, all it is just a packet of the mixes there, and we'll see how they come out, eh? This is 260ml, so this is 250. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 250, boil that up, and then if I need any more, the water will be hot, and then I'll just add a bit to it, because sometimes they can be a bit wrong with the instructions, so we'll get that boiling as well. Fire's too hot for the forks now. Is that ground soft now? Oh my God. Trusty throwdown grill or TJM milk works. Brilliant bit of kit, like that. Some malt. I'll mix the stuff up in there as well for the paste on there made. 5 minutes then. Right, time to get messy then. Oh, slam your bloody fingers. Oh. Make 4, but maybe I've made them a bit thick, but I'm going to make 3, I reckon. 4 won't fit in the pan, I don't think, anyway. They're cushy, they're really nice. They're also vegan friendly, so if you're someone that's you know, anti-meat and stuff like that, they've got good fats good in them, the saturates, sugars are good. The only thing that might be a little bit dodgy to some people is the salt. So do them in a variety of flavours as well. I don't know if you get them across the pond and elsewhere around the world, but certainly here in the UK, not affiliated with Paxo or anyone like that. Literally Mrs C picked them up for me yesterday. I tell you what would have been really nice, which isn't quite vegan friendly, was to have a couple of eggs with it. That would have been absolutely spot on, I think, just to finish off. But right, so what I thought I'd do then, just to finish it off then, is I'm going to do a bit of a gear loadout, because we all love gear loadout, don't we? And it's on the Helikon Bergen backpack that you see me using quite a lot in the different videos. I've kind of left it down to 2 packs now, really, if I'm honest. I seem to be using all the time, and it's this one, and it's obviously the Ebony stock that I've got. I will do a kit loadout at some point. I was going to do one the other weekend when I was out with Barney, but I didn't get round to it. That video will be coming up in a couple of weeks. Bergen backpack. In the top here, I've been trying not to keep anything in there, if I'm honest, or nothing too bulky. So So I've got a roll of gaffer tape or duct tape, and then in there I've got my spare batteries and stuff like that which need to go in my electrics bag when I sort it out. And that's literally what I keep in the top there. The only other thing I keep in the top as well, attached to the zip, is obviously an emergency whistle. I've got one also on the pack itself, and I've also got one inside my jacket. But what I do in there is sometimes I put some change, some money, and then my car keys. You know, if I've got my car and I'm sort of bimbling out somewhere, then I'll stick them, I'll put them in that mesh bag. Okay, so that's the top of it. That's literally all I keep in there now. Right, if we go to the 3 pockets then on the outside. So the one at the front then really is what sort of contains my kind of brew kit, if I'm honest. So it's a cup, which you always see me use. A little brew kit there. I use one of these little aircraft pilot bottles, which I find excellent, especially for slotting down the front of the pack. Now, I do sort of flip between using different stoves and stuff like that. I do love this flexi stove, which you obviously see me use a lot. Packs down to, you know, packs down really flat. Doesn't take up a lot of space. And then earlier on in the video, you would have seen me having a go with the with those little beer can ones, with the beer can one I made, and then that's just a bottle of that's just my fuel, methylated spirits. I use bioethanol sometimes as well. This side is where I keep my shelter. So I've got a rapid ridge line now. I've got my all my toggles and stuff like that in there as well. And then finally just the poncho itself, which I use, and that's the one by Helikon as well. The other side, I keep a couple of fat wood sticks on the outside there. And then obviously another thing that you see me use all the time is my bot, and that's with an Nalgene bottle. That's the bot lid. I keep a gomboy in there as well, because it slots down the side quite nicely. And then the bot with the attached barrel lock. But really this is the mainstay. I use this kind of all year round. I don't change anything in here through all 4 seasons. The first thing I've got when I normally reach the top is a mat. Okay, so I can throw that on the ground either to sit on it or just to place gear on it. Alright, I'll come back a little bit more. Obviously I've got the hammock that's blowing in the wind behind me. I've got my frying pan and stuff like that in there. This is just my bag for the obviously we're videoing and stuff like that. This is the spare batteries and the stuff, bits and pieces, the spare battery and all that goes in there, the charger, all my electric stuff that I need, or the electronics if you like, will go in that pouch. My knife, always put my knife inside the rucksack, just because I have to sort of walk through part of the streets to get to this little bit of woodland, and with that in mind, because of the laws in this country, you know, I obviously tuck that away. I don't want that to be obvious. For either anyone to take it off me, or number 2 for me to obviously, you know, to get it out. So it makes sense to obviously keep that away. Tucks away inside the rucksack. First aid kit. Now I've got a first aid kit that lives in my thigh pocket, which I'll get out and show you, I suppose. And really that just has some cuts kits. That's just has some plasters and things like that in there. And then this one, which I used to use in my thigh, but when we did Hadrian's Wall, I ended up finding myself it was getting bulkier and bulkier, so with that in mind I stuck that one in there, and then I've got this one, as I say, for minor cuts and stuff like that. That one, really all I keep in here is some tissues and bum wipes. Okay, so if I get caught short or anything like that, or if I need some tissues just to do a bit of wiping, then I'll use that. Now that little pouch normally goes in my cooking kit as well. That's another burner and stuff like that in there, which I'll just stick down there. You'll have seen that being used quite a lot. Now in here, what I've got in here is my this is my it's my whoopee jacket by Widow 10. Brilliant jacket, packs down to nothing. That does obviously pack down to something, doesn't it? But it's not very bulky, and that goes in there. Right, what I started to do, where I had all the stuff tucked in the lid there, I find that it was getting quite tight in there. It was all bulky with bits and pieces and everything else. So what I've done was I took all the bits of gear that were in there, and what I've done now is I've put them in here. So I've got a little foraging bag, like a mesh bag. I've got a ferro rod. I've got a leather man in there and some other bits and pieces which I just keep tidy, and that can go inside the rucksack as well. In there is my Helikon Windrunner shirt. This is the one in Pencock cam. Again, that's tucked away nicely in there. This is what I'd sort of call as my possibles pouch, if you like. I've got glue in there, string, blah blah blah, and even then I've itemised that as well. I've put that into little containers and stuff like that, just to keep it tidy. My ration pouch. In here is some cordage and stuff like that if I need to sort of make anything. Keep in there as well. Alright. And then finally what I keep, I've got two items that I keep in the top here. There's a little pouch here. Okay, so what I've got in here, that's a little shoulder bag. Great bit of kit that I use for you know, foraging and stuff like that as well if I need be. And then finally, which is something that you see used all the time, is my throwdown grill by TJ Metalworks. And then also what I do as well is I keep two pouches of food by the steak detective. I've got a great blighty breakfast which I love, and I also like the meatballs in pasta. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share and all that sort of stuff, and I'll catch you on the next video, folks. Laters.